as Elliot said, I'm Lucas Lee. Some of you know me as the fruit smoothie master or rising TikTok star for those of you who saw me on the first Zoom call. Tonight I'm going to share with you my testimony about how I became a believer. So, the main way that I became a believer was through relationships here at Butler. I was never a believer before college, and basically my roommate Sebastian over there, right there you are, he was going to Crew Bible study, and I met Jeff Garrett through him. Hello, Jeff. And so then one night they invited me to the freshman Bible study, and I went, I enjoyed it. Next day, Jeff invited me to get lunch with him. When we did that, he gave me a little Christianity 101 lesson, and he asked me a very special question. And that very special question was, do you forever accept God into your heart, Lucas? And I want all of you to remember this key date. April 10th, 2019, the day that I forever accepted God into my heart. I'll always remember that date for life. There was a Bible verse, but I didn't memorize, but oh well. I'll just move on from it. Anyways, it was in Jeremiah. I think it was Jeremiah 29, 11 through 13. And the main message of that was that once you accept God into your heart, He's forever there. And He'll never leave your heart. He'll be there with you through eternity. So one of the biggest messages is that it's not about the background that you come from. It's about where you're going in life. So to give you a little background on me, I was born to a Chinese American family. I was born with Asperger's syndrome, which is a mild form of autism. And just growing up, I experienced many difficulties. Like, I dealt with a lot of bullying in school. I had a lot of struggles just learning in school, and a lot of people viewed me as socially awkward. And just from the help of God and my parents and my family in general, words can't explain how they just made constant improvements over the many years to get me where I am today, which is a Young Life leader at Butler University. So, to this day, I'm forever thankful for God that He created me for who I am and that He's given me the gifts that I have. I'm very happy in my own body, and I think that with everyone, just okay, well, if everyone accepts God into their heart, they'll be forever changed. It's not God is always going to be on the other side of the door. So imagine an imaginary door right here. I was standing right here. God was standing right here. It's about whether you knock on that door and open it. So one day I decided to actually knock on the door. God opened it, and as soon as He opened that door, I saw Him and His unconditional love waiting there for me. And I just, as soon as I saw that, I was just filled with joy. And I remember just giving Him a big bear hug. And it it's true. It's just truly amazing to see what has gone on in my journey with Christ, because I'm going to be honest with you all here. When I first accepted Him into my heart, I didn't quite know what I was getting myself into. But then I decided to dig deeper on my journey and just explore my faith. So what I did is I started going to church every Sunday. I got plugged in with some Bible studies, and that's how I've been able to grow into my faith in just a year and a half that I've been a believer. And I'm thankful to have Kylie as my first friend that I went to church with. The very first church service that I ever went to was on Easter with her and her videographer friend Kendra Ladig, who isn't here, but one funny memory I have of Kylie was freshman year. when I was in Atherton Union Dining Hall, and I was putting avocado spread on my toast. She was in line right behind me, and she was a stranger to me at the time, but then she gave me a nice, charming smile. I don't even know how I remember that to this day and age, Kylie, but I remember that, and it literally, I'm gonna be honest with you, it made my day, and I guess I could say that is my first impression of you, is that you were a charming lady. And kind of continuing on about my walk, for a long time I didn't even understand what was going on with these sermons at church or what was being discussed in Bible studies, and I felt like I was just like sitting there and like daydreaming for a long time. Fortunately, I moved beyond that point. Now I'm actually able to actively participate. Same thing with church services. I'm able to just comprehend what the pastor is saying. I bring a notebook with me so that I can create memories of it. And then I even take the time to just sit down and study some Bible verses that I wrote down. And it's really incredible when you like actually take the time to sit down and study the Bible. Especially, it's really helpful to kind of reflect on some ups and downs that you had from every week, and maybe if you're like me and you're not super familiar with the Bible, just Google some Bible verses for adultery, say, if that's what you're struggling with, and then just you'll find one, write it down, dig into it, watch a YouTube video on it. That's what I do. And then one of the first things that is asked in me and Carson's small group on campus is, does anyone have a Bible verse? And I bring one every week at this point, whether I'm there in person or on FaceTime. And I forgot to reference Cal Ormanovich. Unfortunately, he's out of town, but I've been praying for him all day because he was actually my first Christian mentor. several times one-on-one to get me acclimated to studying Scripture, and he and I still talk to this day and age. I want to thank Cal, Jeff, and Sebastian for bringing me to God. I want to thank Carson and Kylie for being my very first church friends. I want to thank Sarah and AJ for becoming a part of our church family this year, and for bringing out your AJ Spikes for pork chops and steaks. This guy, if you just search up like AJ Ethan Spice, is that right? Okay. Just go search it up on Amazon. It's I think that you're really gonna love it. Those pork chops were pretty good, right, Carson? So I know that I may not be great at public speaking, but I really do try to add humor to what I say, not use filler words. I believe studying the Bible has made me a better speaker on stage. I know my hands are in my pockets, but I just have to say that over this past year and a half, it's been extremely incredible to just see how much friends here at Butler have really helped me grow in my faith, and they've really shaped who I am today. And I'm forever thankful to be able to live every day just praying to God and reading the Scripture to help me understand my struggles better, sort through my feelings. Really, overall, studying the Bible has just made me a better person. I think it can make all of you guys better people. In fact, one of the roadblocks that I experienced on my journey was my family, who are non-believers. And essentially, my family gave me discouraging remarks about becoming a Christian. They said, "Oh yeah, well, we're not really sure it's worth your time, Lucas." Then about a year later, Pops told me, you really seem to have grown in just the past 6 weeks. I think that the people that you're surrounding yourself with have really made you into a better person. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think church has been extremely productive. And so it's been very encouraging lately to just have family members who compliment me on being a Christian. I get asked by everyone, what does your family think of you being a Christian? And for about the past year, I've had to tell them, well, they're not really against it, but they don't really encourage it. Now, I can actually say that they encourage it, and they have proof that church has worked out well for me, and that's my story. I'm going to hand it off to Braxton.